Get up and get out. Get out. Get out.
I have a question for you.
Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord. Say it. You say Christ is Lord. Get out. Get out. Christ is Lord.
Hello and welcome in everybody to another episode of Offensively Accurate, hosted by yours truly, Atlas Thugs, aka White Boy D Voice, aka another racially ambiguous scraper. And I'm here to tell you that Jesus loves you and Christ is King. Unfortunately, paired alongside many other unfortunate things. And good to be back in studio with you guys here today. Lovely Saturday. Early on Saturday, I don't know when the last time I streamed on a Saturday was, probably a few weeks ago. And here we are. We are doing call-ins. We are going to be taking call-ins from anybody and everyone who is in the Discord or would like to be in the Discord. I can get you the link. We can get you in there. Nice to see you guys showing up. Caleb Camarillo, Dersar, Bolivar edits, Hippocratic Oath, Smelly Balls, Jason Smith, Infamous 918. Good to see everybody in here. If you are in the Discord, definitely just go ahead and swing over there. I'm taking any call-ins as soon as you guys show up. I'm going to actually go ahead and drop in the call-in show. That way I am in there in the Discord and we'll be swinging you over. We'll switch over to the watch screen when somebody does end up in there. What's up, Hilton Head, as well? Nice to see you guys in here. And we're keeping it chill. I know I had said yesterday I wanted to do call-ins last night on the YouTube stream. I actually completely forgot about that. So making it up for you guys, we are doing it on YouTube. And for those who want to be in the Discord or need the invite, definitely let me know or tag someone. I can get you that link immediately. And so anything political, anything related to, anything, I guess. I'll even take your calls about personal training if you want. I know there's been a few of you guys inside of the community who've been asking about that, and good on you as well. I won't name names, but very, very pleased to see many of you who have, reached out to me and have either updated me on your progress of where you are with personal training, or you've updated me on the weight loss journey. I'd love to hear all of that, and it's exciting. It's very positive, and I'm rooting for you guys as well, and I want to extend myself and be a resource to that too. Hippocratic, actually, perfect timing. He says, we're a speaker. Well, Speaker and I will be talking on Monday, June 8th, I believe, or June 9th, June 8th or June 9th. Can't remember. One of the two. But next Monday, so in here in a couple of days, I will be having a collaboration with Mello. And Mello, we will be talking, it looks like it'll be around 8 o'clock Eastern time. But stay tuned for the date TBD, or for the timing, I guess I should say. But yeah, W collab, and shout out to Smelly for connecting me, both Smelly and Hippocratic Oath. Appreciate you guys. I had long thought, who is Speaker? Who is Speaker? And it turns out Speaker is Mello. And we'll be having a collaboration with him. Looks like another fellow Groiper. And I think, what did you guys say? Half Japanese, half Italian. Was that the tag he was given? It seems that all of us Groipers here are all some general mix of something, if you will. And I would also like to extend this too as well. An update for today. I haven't got a message back yet from Capo Groiper, but today actually is going to be, or tomorrow is actually Tix Bomber's birthday. But happy birthday to Tix Bomber in the community, one of the top moderators here in the community as well. And so because of that, however, we will not be able to do any of the Valheim stream today. We will be doing the backroom stream today on Kick. Once I'll be signing off here on YouTube around 3:30 or so. We'll be heading over there talking about the backrooms. And we'll be playing through the backrooms. We'll be having a bit of fun. And then the Groiper report will be tonight at 8 o'clock. And it'll be with Josh as well. My boss says, Tix and I have the same birthday. That's crazy. Is your birthday also tomorrow? That's crazy. Yeah. It would seem so because if today's the 6th, then yeah, the 7th tomorrow. Yeah. So Tix let me know earlier this morning around 8 o'clock that he'd have to bail. Because he's got birthday party stuff he has to attend to for today. Because I guess he's having a celebration today. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you guys share a birthday. That's wonderful. And happy birthday to you guys. We're all boomers now. We're all boomers now. 6, 7. There's says if you're not careful and clip out of reality in the wrong areas. Yes, very true. The Backrooms is we're playing Escape the Backrooms, which I think is like the biggest, or I guess most robust, most comprehensive Backrooms game out. We've already played through the first couple levels, if you will. I think there's 30 levels total. I think as far as me and Capo made it was like level 4. So I'll be playing through that. And I did adjust a couple of things. I'd been meaning to turn this into some content. I wanted to actually take these videos and kind of cut them up somewhat and make Atlas Boomer. That's funny. 24 Unk status. And what's up, baby? No, I wanted to, much like how many of these other Twitch streamers, they do the scary video games. They do all the different, they do the different tactics, right? They play the games and then they turn them into content. For YouTube, I kind of had the same idea. The only unfortunate thing was the ducker I had turned on for the audio was like way too strong, and I didn't realize this. And which is fine for, I guess, a live stream, but for a video, it kind of gets a bit annoying, if you will. And so what I mean by that is anytime I talk, what I have set up, it's kind of a compressor. It's called a ducker. So if I speak while other audio is playing, it chooses to lower the volume of all the other audio and boost the audio of the microphone. I had it too strong when we were playing the Backrooms, so I downloaded the VOD off of Kick, and it's just like it's too excessive. It's like every time I talk, it's just like all other sound is immediately like nuked. It's like it's gone, which is crazy. Also crazy that Nightbot is going off like this. Nightbot needs to chill. I literally have it set up on all these different intervals too, and it feels like they all come in at once. That's technology for you. And no, I'm not calling support because I cannot be bothered to have a conversation with an Indian. It's just the way it is. Melly says you're 24, so he thought you were at least 36. Man. All right. Shots have been fired. Shots have been absolutely fired towards Smelly Balls. However, I agree. I agree. Yeah, Nightspot's got a lot to say. I'm wondering if some of these the terminals are from like last night. Because I have them set up just to be custom. Like I have one set to come in every it's like 9 minutes. One's at like 15, one's at like 18, and one's at like 20 or something like that. So if they were to come back later on, it's like then it would be at 40 minutes, one would be at 36. I separate it like that. It doesn't work for whatever reason. But so be it. We did have a bit of an update though for myself personally, if you will. And so we talked about the collaboration coming up on Monday. We are going to be reaching out for some more collabs and some more people as well. Been waiting for those to get in contact with me. That would include people like Tom Foe, Daily Wright was a recent person who I'd reached out to as well as some bigger names too, like Basil and Beardson. Nice to see Craig in here as well too. What's up, my guy? So the gist of what the Gripe Report will be about tonight is going to be obviously covering through the week of everything Nick Fuentes related. There was no show last night, no show on Friday. And largely we'll be just basically back and forth over the performative element of who Sneeko is. And obviously I think many people are used to this now. But also this, obviously the back and forth that happened on the Richard Spencer and Andrew Wilson. I'm sure that'll come up as well too. And we'll probably cover a bit of Hassan Piker as well. But for anybody who is just coming in, it is a call-in show. We're doing call-ins via the Discord. So anybody who would like to call in for any of your political questions or any question you would like to ask me, feel free to join the Discord, jump in. I'm in here right now, and it is a private voice chat, but if you just join any of the other voice channels, I can just drag and drop you in. It's pretty simple. We can just, very simple. I'm going to give Basil my Cash App. It's tempting. I guess if you think, I'm a handsome white man, what do I have to lose? Right? What do I have to lose, right? I think that's the way it has to be, right? I gotta take the money. I have to, right? If he's gonna help donate sport pro white causes, this is what we have to do. It's the only way. It just truly is. 40 wine, 40 deep. What's up, my brother? Happy Saturday, Christ is King. You're about to head to the beach. That's amazing. That's awesome. That actually sounds as fun as the back rooms is, I am missing the beach. I would like to go to the beach sometime soon. Normally, this will rope in a bit more on the personal side for me. Normally, we do set up for like a family vacation. We do have been going on a family vacation. This would have marked year 4 or 5. We've been going to Hilton Head, mind you. Yes, South Carolina, and lovely place. I love Hilton Head Island. It's like my favorite place probably on all of America, and that's probably going to be coming to an end because I am not on good grounds with anybody in the family. And so that's just the way that it is. And I will no longer be, I will not be a part of it anymore. So that's just unfortunate. So we have to find a new way to get to the beach. I don't know if it'll be going to Hilton Head anymore. It'll just be awkward, I guess, if I'm on one side of the beach and they're on the other, something like that. Who knows? We'll figure it out when we get to it. Craig's is in the Discord right now. Okay, let's go. We're getting our first caller in here. Oh, let's go, Capo. Hey, I appreciate that offer, Hilton Head. Okay, let's bring in Capo. Capo's in here. What's up, my guy? I can hear you. I don't think the stream can hear you. Let me make sure. We're going to switch over to here. And go ahead and talk for me. Out of breath?
Mini fridge, but it ended up being a little bigger than I thought. So I had to like finesse it out of my car and carry it into my room. So that was something.
Dang, mini fridge got the best. Yeah, got one-shotted by the mini fridge.
Dude, for real, bro. I've been productive this morning though. I got up early, man. I went to pick that up, did some grocery shopping. Because I just moved into this place last week. You remember me telling you about that?
Yeah.
I'm liking it so far, man. It's really close to my parents, and that's important to me, to be around family and everything in the same town within like 5 minutes walking distance. So
Yeah.
it's also dope.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's a perk of for where I'm at right now with my family. They live like literally like 15 minutes down the road. My parents, at least. I'm on good terms with my parents. It's everybody else in my life who I'm not
I've
on
heard,
good terms with.
I've been in here a long time. I've heard some of the family stuff on your wife's side. It's kind of cool that your wife's like base though, and she doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, it is. Trust me, it is. It's very helpful.
That helps to have your wife on your side, man.
Very true. It's funny because there's been periods where she's kind of gone back and forth, and so it just helps that I'm like able to articulate myself. That's why when I've gone through what I've gone through, I can only like put myself in the shoes of guys who've probably gone through similar, but maybe like didn't have all of like the right things to say, or like be able to like call out BS as well and things like that. And I like it just makes me honestly sit there and I feel sad, like, especially for a lot of what young men are dealing with. But do you have any pressing political concerns? Anything at the top of your mind?
I did want to talk to you about like a pastor I had.
Okay.
In West Lynn, which I'm fine with saying that because it's a relatively big area here in Oregon, there's this church called Athey Creek, and there's this guy, the pastor there, his name's Pastor Brett. He's like, he was really fat. He wore shorts every day because he said that pants were uncomfortable. Like, he was just like one of those pastors who was like super formal. And one thing that really put me off, like getting into the church, is he talked about the cross, like why there's no cross in this building, like in the church. And he said, because the symbol actually means nothing. It's all about God. It's just about your relationship with Jesus. So why would we have a cross in here? So that was my first kind of off-putting experience.
Yeah.
But Candace Owens actually ended up doing an expose on a couple of these pastors because they're super pro-Israel.
Yeah.
And he takes his whole congregation, or anyone who signs up and pays for it, to a trip to Israel every single year. I'm not sure if they're doing it with what's going on now.
So do you think that this church is one of the ones that's like a part of the geofencing campaign? I know they started on the West Coast.
I'm pretty sure about that, yeah. but there's like some really weird stuff going on there. Like I'm pretty sure he's like a millionaire because they have this giant property and Westland's pretty expensive. Like it's a huge property with this giant church. And recently they just built another giant church because they couldn't fit everyone in there. But
Yeah.
he goes to like this African country once a year. And my mom looked it up and it's one of the ones that's like heavily known for money laundering. Like
Interesting.
that's where you would go for money laundering. So
Yeah.
it's just really sketchy, man. You can look him up. His name's Pastor Brett Metter.
Interesting.
If you want to show the stream, there
Yeah.
was this guy on YouTube who was doing an expose on him, and they copy strike him. They tried to sue him. They like basically buried him into the ground with all these copyright strikes and everything. And there was only one guy trying to expose him, so it's not even on YouTube anymore. It's actually insane.
Are you on stream? Is this the guy? This white beard Santa looking
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah. That's it.
Interesting. Yeah, Westland, Oregon.
But there was another thing about that. I went to the youth group when I was younger. It was like a Wednesday night thing, you know, for like teenagers. And I had a friend who his name was Ryan and he went there as well. There was a bunch of shit that happened between me and a girl there. Basically, she sent me nudes and then they blamed it all on me. I
Dang.
didn't send her anything. They blamed it all on me. They sat me down and they said,
I'm gonna blame you.
um,
No, just kidding.
for real. They said, you're the man, so you should be telling her this isn't okay and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, dude, I didn't send anything. Like, well, how is this my fault?
You need to go back
Yeah,
in time and
basically got
unsend
kicked
it.
out of the youth group. I basically got kicked out of the church pretty much.
Wait, what?
And then years later, yeah, I got kicked out of youth group. I couldn't come back.
Really? Well, okay. Well,
Yeah.
how did you respond when she sent you the nudes? Were you like, damn? You're like, damn, that's nice,
mean,
dude. Or were you like,
yeah.
you like, get away from me, witch?
I mean, hey, I accepted it. I wasn't gonna be like freaking out like a pussy, but I mean, that's just for real.
That's
But
funny.
I actually years later, I ended up like seeing one of that kid Ryan I was talking about on Snapchat, and I just added him back. This was like 3 years ago, and he was working for the church, like doing like landscaping and stuff. And he told me he got fired for beer cans, but he's like in the back of his truck, he had like 3 beer cans in the back of his pickup truck, and they fired him for that. He's like, you want to know something crazy? He said one of the youth pastors that was married was having an affair with a 15-year-old girl at the church, and they buried it.
But then you're kicked out of the youth group.
For that. Yeah. They
Yeah.
married a like, no, I mean, see, maybe not pedophilia, but like super fucking weird. He was married and his wife was like a pretty like nice lady, you know, everything.
Yeah.
But he was like messing around with like 15 and 16-year-olds while being a youth counselor type deal. It's just like crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just goes to show that there's there's no place that's safe from this kind of, the hypocritical, treatment and entitlement between like male behavior versus female behavior. I think when you see it in the churches is kind of like that's the nail in the coffin. Is like the one place that
It's
probably shouldn't be
blackmailing,
putting
dude.
up with it. Is like, is the place that's actually like helping to institutionalize it and then back it up doing this. Dersar says Pints that would go wild like straight up crusade mode. He's an expert at this type of stuff. Yeah, Pints is great on this kind of content, and it's jading too. Like I would imagine, especially for you, like just even going through that experience, it's like WTF, like what? And it just makes you like almost like resentful of everybody and even involved. You're like, that doesn't even make any sense, right? Like, and then you see something like that happen later on. And it's funny because even outside of the church, I've seen stuff that's happened like that, like in schools, for example. There would be things that had happened. I can remember being chastised by a principal or like a vice principal or somebody. And then like I go back, I'm talking with my parents, I'm hanging out. My dad's like, oh, hey, did you know like they busted this guy for tax fraud for like, $38,000. I'm like, doesn't surprise me. Like I knew how they were like in high school. And so many of these people who are in these positions of like authority shouldn't be, but it seems like it's so commonplace that it is those types of people who are abusing their power in one way or another, whether it's like to get access to girls or to do something exploitive like that, or to like embezzle money. These people are gross. I mean, you even see it with like this big Lego thing, like this Lego debacle stuff, like all these lawyers now getting involved. It's up to YouTubers to like solve the investigation, like coming to town to record this stuff. It's just crazy. And like you were mentioning with your pastor here, you see some of the last three of his teachings here from like May 1st, April 10th, March. Prophecy update.
Yeah, he's really big on he's really big on that, like scaring everyone into thinking that God can come back any day, and that we need to support Israel. I think he's using it for nefarious means, though. I'm not even sure if he fucking believes it, because he's going to Israel. I'm pretty sure he's taking money. I'm sure he's doing the geofencing too. But yeah, man,
Right.
I had the same thing in my high school. There was a teacher I had, Miss Dowd. She had an affair with another teacher there, and they basically ruined the guy's life, and she still worked there. And then he got a DUI because he lost everything, like literally everything from it.
Yeah.
And they kept her as a teacher, blamed it all on him, and you know, it's just so blackpilling, dude. And I've had like this type of stuff happen all the time, and like it's hard. Like I'm also like not religiously homeless, but like can't, like it's hard to find a church, and even if you do go to one, it's like, if Joe Webbin was near, go there, but like, dude, it's so hard to find a church that's just like actually based and cares about politics. Because I really hate the whole like, well, we're a church, so we don't care about politics. It's like, no, if you're a liberal, you're not a Christian. That goes against everything that God's design.
No, I get it. And especially with like the geofencing stuff, and that's what's like really blackpilling, is how little coverage that's even getting, and seemingly but how widespread it is, and like the money that was being put into it as well too. It is like one of the only things, I think it still is like the only thing that has been ever registered under FARA. And I don't even think it was, if I remember correctly from when I read the original story, it wasn't even the people who actually what's the word? It wasn't the people from Israel who did it. It was like the people that they were communicating with from America who were willing to set it up in their churches were the ones who did it, because they just wanted to be on their P's and Q's. So if it wouldn't even been for like the congregation here on the West Coast in these churches, there still wouldn't have been any kind of foreign viewpoint or looking into what's actually going on. And it's just kind of left aside and it runs rampant. Marcus, it's in the Discord. If you want to call in, it is in the Discord. And I guess it's kind of how we'll do it, actually. We'll, if somebody else wants to call in, I guess we can keep rotating in and out. So when I see Marcus join, let me find the Discord.
Another thing I wanted to say, though, is that I forget which African country they go to, but they took their grandson there, and they had him in blue and white pinstripes with the song Island Boy on his story. And it's just like kind of weird because of the Epstein like thing with like the blue and white, like I don't even know what like a monument or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like some weird like it's like a mandatory trip once their baby is like 6 months old. It's like disturbing. And that place is also known for like human trafficking too. It's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's scummy, man. And I'm even seeing like too, like some of these guys, like even Spangler as well, talking about making their membership like invite only. And I saw he's been going back and forth with somebody like, and I think he's a bit more radical than most, but I mean I still like him, and that's no way anything like a castigation against him or anything or being critical. I like Spangler. I had a conversation with him before, but it looks like even some of those churches that are like would be churches you would want to attend, it looks like they're going to start like increasing the barrier to membership, barrier to even be a part of the church. I was trying to read something that he had said, because he even outright, I think on X, it was last night, denied a black person who wanted to be part of the Congress. He said that he would be willing to have a conversation with them, that he would ultimately he would ultimately not invite him in, but he would give him all the reasons why, and he would have the conversation with them. So I'm wondering if, is this going to be the direction that a lot of these churches go, right? Spangler seem, being one of these, I guess you would say, thought leaders specifically inside this kind of dissident right movement, this maybe more pro white identitarian, completely segregated, I guess race realistic churches, congregations, and so maybe it does, and I think that would be a kind of a wild development to see, because then instead of just being on RTTL grounds of like freedom of association, this would now rope in, does now a protected religion now have the ability to also segregate and discriminate? Like, that would be a crazy thing to kind of see inside of there if it was ever to be tested.
I think that I don't know if I would necessarily agree with that, unless like you do some like research into the person and they're like trying to do an expose on like your religious beliefs or something. Because I do think that like it's fine to have a couple different groups inside of a church because you're there to worship, and the churches kind of already self-segregate in general, like black church, Korean church, Chinese church, whatever. But like at my grandpa, he was a pastor. He like built the church and everything. He's a Baptist preacher. Also, is a guy, he doesn't want to talk about it with anyone. He gets pretty angry about it. But they have like one black guy. They have some Asians there, but it's a majority white church. And it still works. I just don't think that race realism really needs to be pushed in a church. I mean, I guess the idea of it, like Joe Webbin will talk about it, but even Joe Webbin will say, yeah, we don't care what race you are if you come into our church, as long as you are down with our ideology and what I'm doing, then that's fine,
Yeah, I'm, I guess you got to do with the best of what you can make of it, if you will.
100%.
And that's probably like the situation most people are in, honestly, is this is what I got, and it's kind of like for me, even just on something like orthodoxy, like it just sucks that I would have to go, it's like an hour and 10-minute drive. And it's like, as much as I want to do that, it's like, well, that's like, and it's not to say like, oh, that, nothing, that's too much to do for Jesus. Someone could probably moralize me on that, but it is just the element of like, that's a huge, an hour and 10 minutes trip back and forth with my young daughter, who already hates being in the car, because when she was younger, we went to Hilton Head with her, like terrible experience, driving back. And so it's just like, what do you do, right? Like, do you make all the sacrifices just to go, attempt to go to liturgy, or do you, you keep it simple, and just continue to try to bounce around with some of these other ones? Because Dursar is right. I've been recently to a Lutheran, and I've been going primarily to the Lutheran service. But there's been a Baptist one that my parents go to. They like that format a bit more. Nazarene. Probably would never go back to a Methodist church, to be honest with you. But it's between those, and I have to admit, like, the Lutheran one does speak the most to me. I like the Lutheran service more than I like the other ones. The only downside to it is I wish I could like pick and pull, because on the Lutheran service that we've been going to, their sermons are like super short. Like I think average run times like maybe 25 minutes of sermons.
Crazy.
It's super short, and for some people it really works. But I come from like the Nazarene Baptist, where it's like
an hour long.
Exactly. 90 minutes sometimes. Like, the pastor's like, halfway through the sermon and he's making comments about how he knows he's going over. Like that's where where I come from, like the super long sermons, and I appreciated that. Like I like those super deep dives into the word, especially when pastors can do really a good job with it. So
that definitely seems like something Joel Webbin is good at as well. If he has like a separate channel for Christianity, or his ministry, it's Right Response Ministry.
Yeah.
And they'll do deep dives for like 2 hours. And I think he's kind of like that as well. I think it's more of like an evangelical type of thing where you do go really deep into the scripture. What's your thoughts on Catholicism though? Do you like it or not? I have trouble with it because Catholicism is like a very liberal institution, kind of, like every Catholic I know, I don't even know if they're Christian. They're kind of just like leftists that go there, and that's like the extent of it. I don't know. I'm not trying to like shit on Catholicism for anyone who likes it, but I've never been, and people I know who have gone, it's
Yeah.
like my ex-girlfriend, extremely liberal, but she went to a private Catholic school. So that doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really speak to me.
Well, so I'm, you know me, like I'm religiously homeless,
Me
and
too, yeah.
I look at things from not just a theological perspective. I look at things from many different perspectives. And I think one of those angles I think I would look at specifically, this being a political show primarily, I mean, literally almost near absolutely. One of those things that's always really taken me back, that's jaded me on Protestantism, is looking at how these different sects exist in the political arena as well. And some would say maybe that's not a fair heuristic, but I do think it is. Looking at the political is basically the the better men deciding the ecosystem we live in, right? Society, the culture, all of it. And so when I look at what Protestants have kind of contributed to that, at least on the American side, especially here recently, when you rope in like the Schofield Bible, you rope in dispensationalism, you rope in evangelicalism, you rope in the non-denominationalism. I mean, which is again, it's more splintering upon splintering upon splintering. And I always hold in my head, if we're supposed to judge Christians by their fruit. I
Yeah.
would then say that would that not then scale that we should judge the sects by their fruit? And so if you was to see it through that lens, you would go, well, Protestantism seems to be the weakest link on things specifically towards the JQ and the woman question, such as feminism and this pro-Israel kind of this changing of the interpretation of the promise to Abraham and Abraham's seed.
Yeah.
Then I look at what you're mentioning here too, which is this kind of Catholic element that is very deep in things like NGOs, paying in a lot of money, a lot of finances moving to support things like immigration, right? And so I see that they are weak on some of those other elements too. I guess if I was to look at it and I see what do I see the most right now? And right now, it does feel like it is like the Protestantism wing is like the weakest. It is causing the most damage if you're looking at it in that very strict kind of sense.
I'd
Um,
agree, yeah.
but not that that's even not that that's even a statement on the actual teachings on either side of them. That's I guess maybe a viewpoint I have politically, and it's because of that it's jaded me on Protestantism. What I guess I would disagree with though is what I really don't like doing is, and I think this is honestly the cheapest thing that all the sects do, which is a Protestant calling a Catholic not a Christian, or a Catholic calling a Protestant not a Christian, or an Ortho bro calling either of the other two not a Christian. Like that stuff to me is like you want an honest answer from me of what I think what really drives many people away from the church who would never pick up a Bible is because I think people who we would try to reach who don't know the message of God see stuff like that and it just burns them out because to them I think they view it as thing to be tribal about. It's just another
I wasn't
sports
trying
ball game.
to, yeah,
No,
I wasn't trying to say that. I was kind of more on the angle of Catholics in general tend to be more liberal, and Joe Webben kind
yeah,
of did go into the instance. Um, they are stronger on things like abortion. They're stronger on things like immigration. But the failing is they don't recognize the real problem, which is the JQ. But what I will say is my normie uncle and his wife, they went to the Baptist church of my grandpa, getting told dispensationalism about Israel and all that. And they're waking up themselves. And I haven't even talked to him about that. He's like confronted my grandpa about it, and my grandpa gets really upset and doesn't want to hear it. But I'm seeing a revival of Protestants who are waking up to these things, and I think in the future,
yeah,
um, I do see a world where, I mean, especially you look at Israel right now and their popularity. I mean, uh, it's not going to last, this dispensationalism, I don't think. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
people who, you know, would have never thought about this type of thing are now starting to really think about it and even confront family members who are pastors or were pastors, and try to have open discussions about these things that have been really hidden for a long time. And it's a really good thing. And I also agree with you. I think that really what makes you a Christian is your personal relationship with Christ. And it would be insane to say that all these different sects, just because of their slight differences, that the whole church is going to hell or something like that. You know, it really just doesn't make any sense. That would be crazy for God to set up a world with all these different traditions and everything. Like you look at a African church versus a white church, and it's like, so he would doom one of them to hell just because of the way they worship or something. I just don't believe that. And if so, then literally like what, like 80% of Christians are just fake? I mean, I don't believe that, you know?
Right. No, right. I guess, and well, I was just saying, because, you know, not you specifically, but it's a very common thing
Oh,
you
yeah.
see, you know, and I mean, I see it in chat all the time too, the back and forth and the bickering. And that to me is like, I just, I ultimately like it bothers me. It really deeply bothers me in the sense that it's like, it's the most obvious thing in the world to get that like, there's no persuasion when it immediately goes to like the arguing and going the back and forth. And you know, like, and I get people feel strongly about this, but I'm trying to speak as honestly as possible. I think this is why you're probably never going to get Asmongold to walk back into the church. It is on some of these smaller, more human elements, and I don't even know if I would even invoke God on that. I would say that this is just humanity, right? Like we are
Yeah.
fallen. We're fallen. I mean, like we're basically doomed and bound to make mistakes and be sinful and be awful, grotesque creatures, right? I think of that meme that PineSnap posted the other day. I thought was perfect. It's the meme of it's Venom like dunking on Spider-Man, and the Spider-Man his quote, what he's saying is, you know, I think that humans are born with their own destiny in their hands, and it's like some other kind of, you know, woke nonsense. But Venom is just like, I'm evil. We're good, you know. It's like he's dunking on Spider-Man, and it's just like this acceptance of like, yes, we as human beings, like we are born like corrupted, like we are bound to be corrupted. That's just the way that it is. But I guess I'll read a couple of these chants just so you hear what some people are saying about what you're saying. Matt Kemp is saying, he says, WTF is this guy talking about Catholics aren't liberal. I will step in and say, for all the years I spent in Cleveland, I would have to disagree. I was actually heavily surrounded by an extremely, extremely liberal group of Catholics. The majority of my time spent around Catholicism was in what they were all being. It was dominated by liberals. That was from 2017 to 2020. Dursar says that. Well,
I'll
go ahead.
step in on that one just
Yeah.
1 second. I will say as well, I'm not dunking on all Catholics, that's obvious. What I am saying is that from my experience here on the West Coast and even my ex-girlfriend's family over in Kentucky, they're all Catholic. And even the Catholic schools, for the most part, don't really try to disagree with gay stuff and everything. It's more on the accepting element, or at least where my ex-girlfriend went to school.
Yeah.
And you know, she wouldn't have thought of these things if the school she went to didn't also force feed it just like a public school. So, and there's people like that in every sect of Christianity that are liberal. It's same with Protestants. I don't think as much with Orthodoxy. I'm not really sure.
Well, that was like the distinction I was going to make, which was it's not that I think that Catholic in and of itself is liberal, but it is the people in the pews going to the Catholic service were extremely liberal that I was around. I guess is probably the way I would say it.
Same. I'm not saying the church as a whole, although they are very weak on immigration, which is a problem for the United States.
Right. I think that is another element to look at. Dursar is saying, Dursar Bolivar says, Catholicism isn't liberal, but there's been subversion and misguided people, even though it's becoming more traditionalist and better among Gen Z men. And that's what I would say. I would agree with that. I think there is, to me, if I was to put a point down for either side, it would be both for Catholics and Orthodox. They are, and I think it is because of the generational kind of shift with all these young men kind of, for one reason or another, both also from a secular standpoint, moving to something more purposeful, moving into, whether it be deism or whether it is moving to Catholicism or Orthodoxy or Christianity in general, Protestantism, that it seems to be that still, and I agree with House here as well, it seems that the leading voices and the most prominent ones fall into the more Catholic and more Orthodox elements. Now, withstanding that would be somebody like Joe Webben, right? Joe Webben, I think, is excellent. When you look at some of the more political speaking voices, they all do seem to be, they do stem from Catholicism, like House says here. Pat Buchanan, Russell Kirk, Nick Fuentes, Joseph Sobran, and Tom Fleming. So, and I think when you look at it just in the recent version of that, it kind of, to me, I don't know if it's more of a response to just how everything feels like miserable, how everything kind of feels like it's so over. Is that what's causing so many young men to kind of turn the tide, or is it the gender war element? Is it the more cultural element? Is it the seeing nonstop pornography as everywhere? Because again, it's a male-led thing. I think it's been more so about that it's young men who are falling into these categories than it is women who are moving to more purposeful elements. And I think all the statistics showed that. And I think there was a report that came out not too long ago that said something to the effect of, for the first time, and I can't remember how many years, there are more men who identify as Christian than females. I do believe is the number, which is a stark kind of, I guess, reflection on where society is. And I think that's the direction it's going to keep moving, which is men who have kind of witnessed and or maybe experienced what this world and our current kind of society has to offer. They are ultimately fleeing that into these elements, and I think it is the most healthy way to I guess react to these things. I would say, I think if somebody previously didn't know Jesus Christ, or perhaps maybe went to church but had fallen away, and they kind of go through their life, they go through college, they have a couple experiences, they're reading the news. I think that is the natural reaction, is to go, this world is evil. And to feel that calling and go like, I need to go to church. And I think you have that overwhelming feeling happening to a bunch of young men. And I think part of it is because of just everything political, but part of it is also everything social, which is like, with just the women problem in general. I guess my question is, which one is the majority of? What are more men responding to? Is it the evil of like, Charlie Kirk being shot, leftism, communism, Marxism, mass surveillance, Israel? Or is it, porn? Every woman is like, trying to date their rapist. Like, what is it more of a response to? I think would be the curious answer. Maybe we can get some polling on that. Maybe put some polls out there, surveys. Why did you come to church?
I definitely think that Charlie Kirk had a huge role in people coming back to church. I mean, me seeing that, it was visceral, dude. Like, I got emotional, like, immediately. I was at work when I saw the video, and it blew my mind, man. Like, I felt, like, sick. And I had friends in my Discord who were just posting memes of it and making fun of them, and I left.
Dang.
And I haven't talked to any of them since because I was just so disgusted. And I actually talked to my friend who's now, voting for Fish back up there. He went to his rally, and he said he had...
Nice.
A response like that where he was like kind of like making fun of it at first, and then he talked to his girlfriend, and his girlfriend's like, dude, that is sick. And he kind of realized how unchristian it was to view it like that. And after his girlfriend told him that, he started to feel gross about it, like in himself. And that's kind of what brought him to Christ, because he realized how disgusting and evil that was. And it also sucks too. It's like really serious thing happened, and then it's just like memes. Like, people don't even internalize what actually happened, and they're just kind of I think that's one of the problems with Gen Z, and I'm 24, so I'm a part of it, is we really don't take much seriously, and hopefully that changes with time, because for me, I felt disgusted, dude. Like, that was the worst I felt all year, was seeing that. And I didn't like Charlie Kirk, dude. I'm a griper. But I had a reaction like Nick. And his basically sermon on that was fucking beautiful, man.
That's what it kind of felt like, right? The eulogy that he gave. And I mean, and that was And what was crazy was that was for many people that night, that speech, that episode was like many people took that as a sign of like he must be a federal agent. You know, that's to many that was like the signal. It's like, well, man, he should have stood there over the body of Kirk and and like and shouted and screamed and kicked. And it's like what a what a response. Like how is that how you take?
They wanted,
Yeah,
yeah, they just wanted it to be like, oh yeah, it was Israel. I don't even think it was they wanted him. I think they all wanted him to literally just say it was Israel with no proof. And
right.
I'm glad that we had the divergence from the conspiracy crowd. We can actually focus on things that are meaningful and positive visions going forward. Because like, what's Dan Bilzerian's vision? It's just like, I really dislike Jews. It's like, okay, so what type of political project can that create? Well, nothing. So
Agreed. And I'm going to say this too, because I know Marcus asked earlier, but anybody who wants to do a call in, you can join in any of these rooms here on the voice channel. I can just drag you in and drop you in. But I'm going to catch up on a couple of the chats here again, Capo. And oh, Donnie, we got Donnie joined in. That's awesome. I see you, brother. We have, there's my wife. She says she doesn't want to get beat tonight. That's perfect. A great decision. Mark Vintage says, I clicked out, then overlooked the stream like 5 times because the thumbnail made me think that it was that Slavish guy who does literally nothing but clip farm Nick. That's funny. I want you to know I did not put any effort into the thumbnail tonight. I used an alternate version of the one we used for the Groiper report, just because I wanted to have something. But that's funny. And I'll be honest with you guys. There's very dark sides to YouTube, and it kind of blew me away. This is a whole tangent, but I was watching Raymond stream just for a few minutes the other day, and he was going into detail about how there's a couple of people who are like angrily clipping him all the time. They're clip farming off of him, and I think I'll try to find this one account if I can. I'll put it on screen for you guys to see, but I mean, like, it is like literally disturbing the level of like obsession. And this one guy's YouTube channel, I mean, he scrolls down and the guy's like last 30 videos are all about Raymond and just being mad about him. And I've been asking Raymond, I'm like, you got to give me some tips, man. I like, please explain to me like how you get people to hate you this bad. Like, it's like, I want that for me. I see, I see what they're doing for you. I want that for me. And I don't know if I'll be able to find him or not at all, but and who knows, probably not. But it's just some crazy guy's account. Maybe I'll go find Raymond's stream on Kick and we'll go look and try to find it later on. But it was just like disturbing. And
with Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, it's the same thing with people doing it with Nick as well. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but it's not even just him either. Like, I guess Raymond has like multiple of them. One's a girl too. People just get obsessed. I have my first one now. Like, I'm getting mine now. I have this guy. This guy has been coming at me constantly, right? So I don't know if you can see on screen, but this is just insane to me. So rhetorically defective. I mentioned him at the beginning of the stream, I guess, yesterday, and about something about like, yeah, seeing that he got more views from like my last video, and he's clipping it. I'm sitting there thinking like, is he watching the whole stream? Like, is rhetorically defective like hate watching the whole stream now, or did someone like tip him off? And like, I literally mentioned his name once at the beginning of the show, but he clips this. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear it, but this is what he clips. Oh yeah, never mind. It's on the Discord, but he clips it, and it's just me saying like, makes me want to jump off a bridge whenever I see RD's got more views, and I'm just straight up like, you can't even tag me, dude. And no joke, this guy, okay, this remnant guy, the next day, this morning, this is what I wake up to, or I saw notifications. Clearly he didn't need to, so why bother? With some weird photo of a cat. I want you guys to know, this guy has like 120K subs on YouTube, and could perhaps be the most cringe person I've ever seen in my entire life. But here's the best part. We made it. We made it. Like, we made it. Like, I have an enemy. Now I have somebody like I can go after. He's not made a YouTube video about me yet at all, but it's just like every other day, this guy is like in my message. Like, he's looking, he's watching me and Artie go back and forth from the cuck chair, and he's like waiting for his moment to get in. It's like, dog, it's so weird. Like, and I wasn't even that mad about Artie. I'm just like, it's just kind of weird that Artie did that. And then he's in my mentions again. Like, It's crazy, dude. And honestly, it's
Something
just
about
yeah.
RD posted something the other day about Knicks fans trying to go after Andrew Wilson. He's like, why are the Groypers so ready to jump on Andrew Wilson? It's like, well, maybe because uh, they have their own opinions about him. I mean, Nick didn't agree with it, but then he has to like backstep too. He has to be like, well, I mean, he didn't backstep clearly, but Nick says what he said about it and he didn't like it. And then Artie just moves on to the next thing. Same thing with the suits. Whoa, the leader's supposed to be the guy who forgot to dry clean his suits. It's like, what are you even talking about, dude?
Yeah, dude, there's been some crazy posts from Artie over the last couple of days that I'm just like, dude, I can't even react to it. I have no response for it, honestly. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. But it's been some of the same stuff, right? And he was going at, was it like Beardson? And I don't even know if there's anything that happened prior between like Beardson or Wilson that I'm like just not remembering. But like the thing is like there is truth on both sides here. And especially if we're looking at like that specific instance between Spencer and Andrew Wilson, you know, ultimately, like again, like the position is like it's not ideal. Like what Andrew Wilson's situation is obviously not ideal, but I mean, I also agree with Nick that like you can't expect perfection. You can't expect your life to go perfectly 100% right. Um, and so I know there's nuance inside of there, uh, but this whole it just gets out of hand and it's all over the most. To me, it's all menial, and it just I don't
I
know.
think people I think people view Andrew Wilson as like a celebrity, but before YouTube, he was just a fucking normal guy working in like a like meat slaughtering department or something. Like he's just a normal dude who normal life. Like my mom, my real dad was like abusive to my mom and she left that relationship. I had a stepdad for a while. He became an alcoholic. That sucked. And then my mom found my stepdad, which I just call him dad now because he's a great man. And he had four kids. My mom had three. We're a blended family, and it works great. And the judgment on that, and the funniest thing too is my parents are like the most Christian. They've never drank in their life. They don't do anything. At least from what I've seen, like unchristlike, they do their best.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it's good to just attack people for that type of thing. And the funniest
right.
thing too is a lot of the people attacking him are younger, and it's like you don't know where you're going to end up, or what God has for you. Sometimes God plans for you to take care of another child, and that's just what's in the cards for you. And if you're not okay with that, then that's not for you. But like Nick said, some kids need a dad, and I needed a dad growing up, It's hard to not have one, so I'm happy I do now.
Yeah, well, I wholeheartedly agree with that. And I guess if for some people, I guess it's not good enough to even attach it with the caveat that it's obviously not ideal. It's not what we obviously push for people to like go and pursue, right? Like nobody would sit here and say like we're gonna all push for our sons emphatically to go pursue single mothers because like that's what they should do. It's like no, like I haven't spent the last 2 years, bitching into my microphone about how feminist the church is and how about it's basically, it turns it's a factory for reforming whores, supposedly. Like, no, like I still wholeheartedly believe in everything I've said there. The only point being is like with here and like in your situation is going. So I guess is the argument from people here that like who disagree with that is like their argument is that you don't deserve a father because like your dad like I don't like to me like I don't understand that. Like what are we talking about? Like you at some points you only have you need five pieces to finish the puzzle and you have three. You got to figure it out. Like you just simply just have to.
Yeah, and the
Um,
best part about my situation too is I went to school with my brothers and we were like best friends. So once my parents started dating, we were like, hell yeah. So we lived together and it was just like living with your best friends all the time. So it was super cool. But my dad now, he had to be super persistent with my mom because women don't know what they want. And he had to be a man and be super persistent and go after it. And they've been married for like 20 years now and they're still in love. And that's the best example of Christ-like to me is taking care of other children, um, and really putting yourself through a lot. I mean, my dad had to work days and then he had to go to school overnight so that he could get a degree so he could get a better job to take care of my mom's kids. And my mom's still a house cleaner. So they've been through a lot just to help me, my brothers, our whole family out.
Yeah, I guess the only caveats I would even attach that to myself would be like obviously for the laws of marriage, and
Yeah.
and I think specifically inside the confines of there, it's like, well, I wouldn't support like if a woman like if a couple like got divorced and it's like there's still like I guess what's the word, if you still have these, what's it called, I'm trying to think of like a case scenario, but like in the case of like widows, it's like, well, I don't think that the children deserve to like live without a father because their father died, or think of any of these
Yeah.
cases where you have like a father being killed because like some black dude got angry over something, right, or like something like that. It's like I don't think that these kids deserve to have no father because of that ego, because of the ego complex that dad's going to have to deal with, and that internal struggle, and the way his reputation will be viewed by other people onlooking that aren't taking care of these children. It's like that's the part for me where I'm like, I'm sorry, like I can't. It feels evil to sit here and say that these children deserve, because that's the most important element in the whole part of it. It's
Yeah,
not
from
the
my
mother, it's not the father. It's the children. Like what is the children? What do the children deserve? What should we be doing for them?
Yeah, and in my perspective, what I went through, my dad was abusive. My mom had to call the cops and crawl out of her window because he was like a psycho. His parents abused him, so he did it to her. Luckily, he didn't do it to me and my brothers, but my mom divorced him. Well, actually, they were divorced, and my dad had visitation. My brothers and I hated going over there. And then he got sick of us not wanting to go over, so he just fled to Mexico, stopped paying child support. And then for my dad, his wife cheated on him a bunch and then divorced him and was getting money from him. And she just took off as well, pretty much, to do her own thing. And she's had like 6 different marriages now, and on my dad's side, and it's still
Yeah.
failing. So what ended up happening between my mom and my dad was the best case scenario. It was no just like my mom's a feminist, so she decided to do that. And that's what I will say about my family is they have really strong morals. Um, and my mom didn't want to get divorced to my dad, even though he was abusive, because she knew how hard it would be for us. Um, but
Yeah.
that's just how life goes sometimes.
I mean, that's kind of seems to be like the last thread for any marriage or relationship that's struggling that has children, is that's kind of like the last line of defense. Is, I mean, people who are like honestly serious about taking care of their kids, they do sit there and they go, how do I, how do we do this, and then how is it going to affect the kids? It's like they'll stay in a dead relationship just because it's like they want to protect the kids. A couple of things, so I want to catch up on chat. A few things that were said here. Um, Specifically, kids dead. Where did that one go? Kids that said, but your stepdad didn't go online preaching how trad he was. And I actually agree with that. I think that was a good point
agree
brought
as
up
well.
by Beardson. I think Beardson posed this, which I think it would better serve the message of Andrew Wilson if he did acknowledge that. But if he did say, my situation's not ideal. I'm unfortunately like, I'm not living the ideal scenario I wish I could have set up for myself. So take it from me, this is what you should do to avoid this, right? You should do this to avoid being in a situation that when we have, right? And here's the steps, and here's how you as a man should pursue things so you don't end up in a situation in like a broken kind of mended situation. Because I mean, for one, it's already hard enough to just manage a relationship when you could have two virgins in two people who are like first getting together. It would still be difficult because of everything that goes in that. I mean, you see the divorce rates on first time marriages. It's terrifying. But Marcus is asking again. Let me put the number. It's Marcus, no number. You can actually, if you're in the Discord, you can actually I'll just to show the crowd here. You can click on any of these to join. And once you join one of those, when you switch over, I will be able to grab you and pull you into this room here.
Yeah, I can just head out right now. We're gonna be playing games later and everything, so I'll just enjoy the stream. I'm probably gonna play some Civ 6.
Word. Word. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, man. We'll be coming
I'll
back to
just
do
be in the
backrooms.
chill spot. If anyone else wants to come in here and talk or hang out, watch the stream, I don't really mind. So yeah,
Word. Hey, we'll appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you very much.
yeah, of course.
And yeah, everybody shout out. Thank you to Capo for calling in. We appreciate that. Brother's been super supportive and been super involved here lately, especially on the gaming streams. And I appreciate it greatly. Having somebody to play the games with helps a lot. And so I guess I'll be waiting to see when Marcus joins in. I haven't talked to Marcus in a hot minute. But we do appreciate you, Capo. And thanks for being a part of the stream. And that goes for anybody else as well. Anybody who would like to call in, we are doing them through the Discord. So just get an invite link if you haven't. Nightbot's been spamming the chat room with them. So if you haven't seen one, you can reach out to just tag me in the chat or tag one of the moderators. We can get you an invite link if you're not already in there. And for those who already are, just obviously click on the voice channel, join in. I'll grab you and drop you in, and we can have a good conversation. There were a couple other things that I wanted to make mention of beyond just some of what we've already talked about here. And that was obviously the remnant element too. I'm tempted to reach out to the remnant guy and see if he wants to just hash it out online or whatever. Because this whole sniping me every other day on X is just, it's getting tiring, and especially when it's coming from what I would consider just feels like absolute nonsense, nonsensical positions. I guess we'll see. But Mansour Z, I saw somebody made mention of. I'm not familiar with him. Somebody said that he's done the collabs with Right Wing Coalition. I'm going to actually put him on my collab list right now. We made a collab list on Kick a little bit ago. I'll show you guys what we have here, and I'll swing it over. This is the collab list that we have here, but Mansour Z, I guess I can put right underneath Right Wing Coalition. I don't know anything about him, but I guess I'd be willing to have a conversation with him. I don't know how many good faith conversations we're going to be able to have, to be honest with you. It seems like the majority of the space is kind of makes their bread and butter off of bad faith conversations, and then they turn that into 15 other YouTube videos just to make content for. Okay, there we go. We got Top B. All right, dropping you in, Marcus. What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yo, am I here, baby?
Yes, sir. What's up, brother? What's going on?
What's up, baby? Man, I'm just chilling. I'm just working on some artwork right now, and I'm just painting. And I'm just listening to y'all boys in the background. I gotta wait for my girlfriend to come over, man. Dude, I have a girlfriend now, bro.
Hey, congrats, man. Is that going well?
Yeah, man. She was somebody I known when I was like 14 years old. We went to the same high school and stuff. We was in a band together. I was a percussionist. She was like a clarinet player,
Nice.
So they always, what I'm saying? The drummer boys win again.
That's funny. Hey, congratulations though, man. I hope it goes well for you.
Yeah. I appreciate it, bro. She a Palestinian, and but we didn't even know she was Palestinian when we was growing up. And,
dang. So you got skin in the game now.
I swear I thought it was gonna marry me like a white Russian Slavic or something like that. I swear. But man, she she passed, and her dad was like born in a monastery where Jesus lived and so like they're Christian.
That's crazy.
Like they have like deep roots and they used to have to sell their land and all this and that because she still got family like in the West Bank. So apparently, man, that stuff real, bro. And she was like saying, yeah, we knew about all the. She said we knew about the Jews when we was growing up. I was like, damn, like so they was always.
Yeah.
She said, yeah, like I was like, damn. But yeah, she knew about all that stuff and she was telling me and shit. I was like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, she's privy to it. They're like like we already know. She's like, you ain't gotta tell me. We already know.
And like her family, like they're like Orthodox. And,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's so they're really deep rooted in that stuff. But There's a real blend though, man. But yeah, she a good girl, man. I'm just so bro. So we just talking about random stuff, man. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
are we
If you got,
talking about here?
yeah, you got anything, any kind of burning political topic you want to bring up? Yeah, we're just kind of
You
doing
know
everything.
what is on the what's that Albania the Albanian thing the
Yeah,
UFC
my homeland. Yeah,
man, bro, Trump is just losing, man. And honestly, I just feel bro, is Netanyahu coming to that UFC event? Is he coming?
I don't know. I wouldn't honestly be surprised if he showed up to it. To be honest with you, but I
Bro,
doubt
I
it
don't
though. I don't know if he's because it seems right now that there's clearly some kind of whether it's fake or organic, they are pushing that there is clearly some kind of back and forth going on between Yahoo and Trump. We had the call.
Trump.
Yeah, so we had that call that was pushed by Barack Ravid, which we know he comes from Mossad. You know, he comes from Unit 8200. But it was yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago. That I think it was last night, actually. Well, 2 days ago, you get this statement from John Kiriakou, right? This guy's kind of been everywhere, the former CIA agent. He has like the TikTok edits of him. And he says that the CIA knows that Israel's spying on them, but we don't spy on Israel.
But we don't spy on Israel. I saw that. I was like, what?
Yeah, well, so I wouldn't trust anything John Kiriakou says at all. But what was crazy to see was it was the next day, so yesterday, the report comes out, and I see if I can find it put on screen. The report now is that the Pentagon is concerned that at the rate of Israel spying on the Pentagon. I don't know if you saw this or not. This news report came out like this is from 4 hours ago from Unusual Whales. It says the Pentagon has raised its assessment of an Israeli espionage threat against the United States to its highest level, per Al Jazeera. So, curious what this is really signifying here. You also have this from AF Post from yesterday. It says NBC reports that the Pentagon is increasingly concerned about Israel's spying on the United States, raising concern to its highest designations. So, I'm not sure really what this is supposed to be communicating, or if this is really just maybe more of a organic kind of setting of a story. But it is perhaps some of the most we've seen.
We're trying to merge our militaries and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw Alex, man. I'm getting so sick. Hey, man, it's so. I mean, at this point, man, I'm getting so sick of some of these people, bro. Like Alex Jones, he was saying, I don't think Trump knows that that Netanyahu is trying to push the Israeli and United States military together, trying to merge it together. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Bro, why are you still trying to get this nigga like some man? If people like Alex Jones, and I don't even trust, but people are trying to fuck Megyn Kelly. I don't trust that lady. I don't trust her, bro. She's saying,
It's funny.
what did she say? I think she had to interview with Sean Ryan and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
She don't believe that Trump is like actually implicated in it, or then why didn't the Democrats? She's like, bitch, they're all in it. This is what, bro. It's like the mafia, right? It's like the mafia. Yes. Okay. Let's say I always use mafia terms, but let's say Alice, you're part of the Gambinos, I'm part of the Genovese, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're doing the operation together. I can't stand your ass though, bro.
We're just different families.
I don't tell. I don't. It doesn't matter. We're part of the different families. We're still under the same. We're still a mafia. So we're not gonna tell sensitive subject that can land you in prison. It'll land, someone from the Bonanno crew in prison. It'll land maybe some of the bosses getting indicted. No, we just don't tell you. You just take the fall. You suck it up, take the fall. You do your time. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they play. That's how they work. Dude, Megyn Kelly's a fucking fuck that lady, dog. Fuck Alex Jones. Fuck Megyn Kelly. All these people trying to get this cocksucking motherless fuck some leeways. Oh, excuse me for my foul language.
You're good. You're good, bro. Sorry, YouTube don't like me much right now anyways, dog. It's not gonna bother me much at all.
Okay, I'll be sorry, Lord. You know, I mean, the father guy, he's like, man, I just so heated about this, man. Bro, they're just like trying to scapegoat Trump no matter what.
Yeah. Well,
It's nauseating, to be honest with you. And Nick does it too. Nick does it. Like, I don't think Trump is like, bro, then why is he tarnishing his legacy for these? It can't be because of his friends and then getting new friends. Bro, Atlas, I love you, bro. I love you with all my heart, mind, soul. I'm sure you my brother in Christ. But if I found out you was like screwing little kids, bro, I would turn you in, bro.
I get it. No, I get that, dude. I totally do. And listen, and I love you too. The feeling's mutual, man.
You
Yeah.
know,
With Alex,
like, what are we doing here?
with Alex, it
What are we
feels
doing, bro?
Alex
All
has to.
these traitors in our government. This is, bro. This is a Stalin's wet dream, bro. This is a Mao's wet dream.
Well,
He will have these motherfuckers like pointing to the face of the wall, bro.
listen, I do listen.
This is crazy. This is their wet dream.
The part. So I guess if I was to
Uh-huh.
separate this, the Alex Jones stuff, I was also getting really irritated with. And then what we end up having is Trump just directly goes at Alex Jones. And so to me, I'm kind of hoping like this has to be it, right? Like the dude is straight smearing you on True Social, like finally,
So too,
please.
but he's not.
And well, he
It's
did for a
not
little
it.
bit.
It's not it.
And now he's back to doing it. He's back to like, and I think part of it is he's just kind of stuck. He's stuck trying to appease an audience that was built off the last decade of expecting to see the promises of MAGA. And when he's in the position he's in, and perhaps like he went on this anti-Trump kind of diatribe for a couple weeks, and perhaps people quit tuning
Right,
in,
he did,
and so now he's going back.
He is so fake, man. And anybody that said, man, or Alex Jones is a red dude, bro, like I'm from the hood, bro. You know, it just people are just like you just know who's being a real one. You just know who's not, man. Like it's time to go. Like you just know. You know, it's like if your girl cheat on you before, like you just know the signs. You know,
Right.
She's always by her phone. She kind of turns her phone when you're around.
You get text at 3:30. I love you so much. I miss you.
Yeah. You know, they all do the same thing. Even the niggas in the hood, bro, growing up, like, man, you think somebody's your homie, then they're not. They all have the same mannerism, characteristics. They all have, like, man, but so that's how it's so easy to sniff out Alex Jones and Megyn Kelly and it's just scary. Even Tucker Carlson. I'm sick. I don't like. He plays dumb. And Nick is really right when he says this. Nick says, you was like your father's in CIA, you was at Fox News for 20 years, and you just now finding out about this, but schmucks like us found out before you did. Like you, me, Nick, but we're regular ass schmucks. And we find out this stuff before you're in the belly of it for 20 years. Bro, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Tucker.
Get out of here, bro.
Tucker's compromised. Like I think that by far and away.
So true.
He's wholeheartedly compromised. And I guess the question now is, I guess, what's the direction, right? Is it Russia as a guitar, or is it anybody really willing to like funnel, foreign money? What even is his position here? And kind of, he might even go a little bit off the wall too, because if we're paying attention to Peter Thiel, and we're also paying attention to this concept that, if they're connected to all together between Vance and Thiel and Tucker, and that's a part of the Rockbridge network, their goal wanting to install JD Vance and maintain this coalition. But if that's all seemingly falling apart, and Thiel is already looking at Plan B in Argentina, that seems to be the trope or the trend right now. Well, then perhaps Tucker just starts bouncing all over the place, just trying to garner views and continue kind of gaining power. But I mean, you're spot on there. Like, and the same thing, people are asking, why won't Nick disavow Alex Jones? I think, again, it goes to like a personal relationship here between these guys, where it's kind of the same thing of like, I would imagine people were like, if me and Zeb were like much bigger, I would imagine people would be saying like, what, Atlas, like, why aren't you disavowing Zeb? Zeb's going and full blowing, like doing all this. And I would just say like, well, I disagree with him on this, but I'm not going to sit here and wholeheartedly be like, I disavow Zeb Boykin. It's like, because I was friends with him before I was, political
Right.
rivals,
Yeah.
right? Political
Yeah.
enemies.
Unless Zeb come out talking shit. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing
Right.
Candace. Look, hey man, y'all know me. I love me some Candace, bro.
Right.
I love me my little Candace.
we know.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
yeah. I love my Candace, but she does
That's
that
funny.
too though. Like she'll wait and I can almost guarantee her and Michael Knowles don't get along. Her and Matt Walsh, they really don't get along. And I think she regrets making Michael Knowles the godfather of her because they're cowards, bro.
Right.
Like it's just something to the point where like, all right, when is it not about being cordial in politics? Like why would you attack my friend like that? That's at some point Michael Knowles can be like, bro, I'm her child's godfather, bro. Like chill the fuck, like don't call me out on screen. It's just weird, bro. And it's just I couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't be friends with a lot of these people, bro.
Well, it seems like the most that being the Godfather got Candace was Michael, I guess, out of any of those group from the Daily Wire. I guess he kept his mouth shut the most. I guess that's what that gets you is like, well, when they're all attacking you, I think I'll keep my mouth shut. It's like, well, thanks, Michael. But here's what I would say, and I don't know if you've been watching lately, but I talked about this with Michael and Matt Walsh, but I wouldn't even say that they're cowards. Like, not to say like I think what they're doing is courageous by any means. I'm saying that I think they know full well what they are doing. They are fully well aware of what's happening. And so I wouldn't even say that means that they're cowards. I think that means that they're snakes. Like they're doing all this knowing it because they're getting paid well from, the Daily Wire.
Yep.
And I think they also know that it doesn't matter how well their performance is. It doesn't matter how well their viewership is because they are relying on the fact that the Daily Wire is a Hasbara wing inside of America.
Mm-hmm.
And the purpose of a Hasbara wing is not to be profitable. It's just to push Hasbara. And so you see this time and time again.
He was right about that. Nick said that. Yeah, he was right about that.
Yeah, and so how many times is the Daily Wire going to go bankrupt only for another random cash infusion to come out of the sky somewhere, and they're going to keep going for another 6 months before we see once again they fire another CEO? It's like it'll just keep going, and they'll keep pushing it. It doesn't matter if they're getting views or not because they already have the name brand recognition. And I think as long as Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh understand that, they're totally fine covering Rosa Parks and transgenderism.
Right, yeah, Michael Knowles talk about bro, Atlas. Hey, I'm top B, and I can't stand niggas. I can't stand niggas in the election, man. Right? Well,
right.
Man, Matt Walsh always just talk about black people, bro. Like, bro, he talks about everything else, everybody else, bro. Talk about some Jews, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel it, dude. I agree.
Like you don't, but bro, man, all this stuff, bro. People are just weak ass niggas, bro. That just is what it is, man. It's just like, and people like saying like, Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles, they could go off and be independent. They'll have an artist. Like, I don't think so. Not anymore. I think that ship has sailed. Like, I think that ship has sailed.
Right. Well,
like, I wouldn't watch them anymore.
Oh, dude, I can't watch anybody from the Daily Wire, and that's been for a long time.
I just get pissed off.
Yeah, it's like if anything, it's like me reacting to some kind of bullshit claim that they just started pushing last week. And the chat's right too. Like, how dare you even talk about Rosa Parks without talking about who put her on? Like, there's no point in talking about Rosa Parks without talking about like the civil rights movement in its entirety, right? And like who was writing the speeches for MLK? Who were all the rabbi leaders alongside MLK the entire time? They avoid that. And it's like, if you're not going to talk about the whole issue comprehensively, it's like, then don't bring it up in the first place.
Right. Yeah, I understand. Hey, but hey, fellas, man, my girl, my Palestinian girl, she just got here, y'all. Hey, Becky,
it's been fun, man. Hey, I appreciate you, man.
She don't know this, but she gonna be on YouTube.
Hey, that's funny though. Hey, I appreciate you calling in, man. You have a good one. You and your girl have a good time, man. I appreciate you, brother.
She said hi to you, bro.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Free Palestine.
Hey, Free Palestine. I agree. Hey, W, Free Palestine. Hey, we're hoping.
She's smiling, bro. Like, All right, family. All right, boys. I see y'all back in the Discord, man. I see y'all back in Discord. Family.
Hey, I appreciate you calling in, man.
Always.
Have a good have a good Saturday.
Y'all, man, I love y'all, bro.
Hey, love you too,
all
man.
y'all.
Good to hear from you, brother. Take it easy.
All right. You too, man.
And that is hey, we appreciate you. Top B, one of our other regulars, has been around for a hot minute, for a long time actually, definitely months, maybe over a year now at this point. Appreciate you, Marcus. Top B, that is Top B, that is our top black. He is the top black of the community. He reigns supreme. He is king. He is King Black, top black, King Black. He took the title. He snatched it from Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate is nothing but a gay Andrew sympathizer nowadays. And we want nothing to do with Andrew Tate. We only want top black. Has it been way over a year? I'm getting old. I forget that I've been doing YouTube for like 3 or 4 years now. Well, I took a huge break in between there. I was started a while ago. And then we came back to it. But yeah, if anybody else wants to call in, they definitely can. I'll probably go until maybe about 3:30, spend another about 40 minutes before we make the switch over to Kick. But I'll catch up on chat, read some of these here. I can switch this over. We have this. Apologies. It's hard to multitask with doing the conversation. But Matt Kemp says, you're right, Atlas. Alex put Nick on when nobody would. I understand that, but I couldn't do another show with him. And I agree. I think, I think it'd be different person to person. I think there's probably, again, an element of that personal, where it is like, he did put me on. They're friends. And I mean, let's be honest, like the OG Alex Jones, like, did serve a purpose. Like OG Alex Jones, I mean, for years, right? We're talking about a guy for 20, 30 years. Like, how many people was he the gateway to Nick Fuentes? For how many people was he the gateway for, just them entering into dissident right politics? I think, you can't avoid that.
Merely Reed sent $15.
Hey, W Merely Reed for the 15. I appreciate that greatly, man. Listen, I said this the last time too. And it helps tremendously, and I appreciate it. My wife appreciates it too, and it looks like I might be on the way to, unfortunately, being demonetized. I hope not. But listen, because the super chats, the community is still friendly. No one's hostile yet. So like, don't be afraid of sending messages or writing messages or wanting to put in like media and stuff too, man. Like I'm all for it. I'm all here for it. We're here. We're serving the community, and that's something I'm like really trying to lean into as well too, especially with the Kick stuff. Is I want to really get the community to be a lot more tight knit and have a lot more conversations with you guys, and have my ear in, and my ear onto the ground for stuff like that too. And I know for Capo, Capo wants to start making some content. I'm sure many of you guys might also forgive me, be of the same mindset, and I want to be here to support you. And so if you guys do want to start making content or getting involved or anything of that nature, like I want to be able to help that. So if you guys are wanting to make content or join in on panel streams, I would like to do that, because I think when I was a part of the focus trip stream, for one, I thought it was really fun, and two, I thought it was a great format. And I think doing stuff like that, we can do it very easily through StreamYard. I know Discord's kind of an easy use-in for like call-ins as well, but we can do it through StreamYard. It's super easy. I have no problem switching over, and it might have the gay StreamYard logo in the corner, but that's fine. We know we can make it work. And as I get, as I have more money to build and make improvements, we can do that. And so, we're doing it one step at a time. I recently upgraded the camera. What was that? Maybe about a month ago or so, maybe 2 months ago. That's actually, I think it's been way longer than that. And we're going to be getting the Kick bot ETS over on Kick as well too. Especially because with you guys' donations and helping supporting the show, I'm just turning it back in and investing in that. And again, you probably see it as well too. Like, I've been streaming or trying to stream 7 days a week, and so I'm really trying to lean into this as much as I possibly can. Yeah. It means something to me, dog. like I really do believe in this wholeheartedly, and I think ultimately for me, I really wouldn't be satisfied doing anything else. And part of me also thinks and has the thought as well. And trust me, like, I can't do any other job, right? Like, not to say like I wouldn't or can't, but every time I go do another job where I do work elsewhere, you know what I get? You should be on radio. You should be on radio. Why aren't you on radio? Why do you work here? Why aren't you oh my gosh, that voice. And so like I'm reminded daily that like people want me to do content or they like the voice. So I just gotta fully lean into it. And I appreciate you, Millie Reed. Thank you very much. And with Nightbot as well too. One of the things, and part of this too, the part of the reason I also use Nightbot is two hands to be on radio. I appreciate that. That's funny. One of the reasons you could beard bog me now, Donnie. It's gone. I don't have one anymore. But I'm gonna be honest. I think this is a better look for me. I think wholeheartedly the disconnected goatee is way better look for me than having the beard. But with Nightbot specifically, I've noticed other streamers had it. One OSR streamer I watch pretty regularly. He goes by the name of King Condor. He's hilarious. He's from Australia, and it's kind of cool that I'm following him because OSR streamer seems to be there's a connection between OSR streamers and politics. But him being in Australia, he's been a lot more privy to like what's been happening with Joel Davis and like the anti-whiteness that's been going on there. But he uses Nightbot, and so that's how I was kind of privy to it. And Nightbot can even organize things like in the community, like who are the top chatters, like who sent the most messages this week, and who sent the most, doing stuff like that. So, I want to be able to use that and get more involved in doing things like that. And also too, it gives me it's the most perfect excuse to like never have to be around my wife. Like I honestly like I couldn't no please, it's just a joke. Some days it is if we're not on the same page. Hey, I'm gonna go stream for 10 hours. I'm gonna go stream for 10 days.
At Mikhail Crawford 5650 sent $9.99 on YouTube. Will we deport Dave Smith? I feel like he's one of the good ones. I enjoy his show.
Will we deport Dave Smith? Hey, Michael Crawford, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. Will we deport Dave Smith? I'm in agreement with where you are. I do enjoy his show, and I think he doesn't really pose much of a threat towards what I would say we would seek to achieve. I mean, he does in the element of, I think it's at when push comes to shove, he would perhaps open and he would throw down the hateful or the racialized lens. I think he avoids it. I think he's not someone who's keen to use it or use it as a cudgel, if that. But I mean, we know him for what he is. And I think that he's, and personally, I mean, how would you say, and this is kind of how I view it too, like if he is Jewish, right, and he knows that he's Jewish and he's been raised that, well, wouldn't him taking his own side be just what he's doing? Would not be exactly what he's doing? And so I think there does come a point, it's the same thing with Sneeko, it's the same thing with Sneeko. You look at that and you go, one, he's a hugely performative male. I think he is an enemy politically on certain arenas, but I also view it from the sense of, is that not him taking his own side? Like that is his own side. His own side is a bunch of brown clowns who do a bunch of LARPing with Islam, and then they go and stab people in the middle of the night. Like he's taking his own side. So like I'm not surprised by the actions that he does, or that's the direction that he goes. But I do like Dave Smith, and I was going to say this about Megyn Kelly when Marcus brought her up when he called in. And it's not that you have to be friendly with allies. There's such a concept as temporary allies. And I think I said this about Candace Owens some time ago, which is don't view them as friends. Don't view them as buddy buddy. Don't view them as someone we're welcoming into the movement. Don't view them as like Dave Smith Goiper now. Like no, not that at all. View them as that's a screwdriver, that's an axe, that's a wrench, that's a tape measure, and use them for the tools they are. That's how we should be viewing these people. And so it's the same vein of like, well, if Megyn Kelly's knocking on the door of Donald Trump every day, bringing the heat and saying, look at this dumb MFer, look at this, look at that, ultimately in the overall is good because it's applying pressure towards the administration that we don't like. Now, are her claims and her grievances against the administration the same as ours? Not particularly. Some of them are, but not all of them. So to me, I think we stand to gain more in the current context, the current period of time, to be pro Megyn Kelly, Grandma Goiper, until she shows that she's not. And then when she goes eventually to the point of when she disavows Nick or Goipers or whatever, then you go, okay, thank you, have a nice day. You were useful to us when you were useful. Now we're gone. Now it's over. It's the same thing. I think it's the same thing with any of these individuals, like with Dave Smith, and so long as they're even willing to have like somebody like Nick on for a conversation, that's good. And it's not even good in the sense of like what they're talking about content wise. It's good because clearly Dave Smith's audience and platform is entirely directed and speaking to an entire differently group than like what you would consider the America First, the more mainstay Groyper America First audience that listens to Nick Fuentes every day. And that is a positive. It gets Nick's message out there. And Nick is perfect for entertaining those audiences, primarily because of how disarming he is. That's one of his top abilities, is to like enter into conversation and really kind of break down and disarm the accusations coming against him. They go, whoa, 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 whoa. You think that, you said that Hitler's very effing cool. And then he says, and then Nick will respond, he kind of catches it. It's like, you're catching the heat. And instead of like, deflecting it or slamming it to the ground, he's like, well, let me show you actually really what this is here. And the reason why I said that is because of this. And then he's handing it back, just the back and forth, the flip there. But yeah, Matt Kemp says go back and watch the Darren Beatty episode of America First. He shows how all Jews are the same. Yeah, Darren Beatty is someone who's really really slimy and swarmy. I believe he is the founder of what is Revolver News. And I've listened to a good bit of Darren Beatty. I think Darren Beatty's been a regular kind of guest who's been a part of like Tim Pool. I know that Nick's brought him up multiple times. I'm trying to think of one of his other strong connections. Like Darren Beatty has a strong connection to somebody else. It's escaping me right now. But Darren Beatty's someone who I wouldn't trust either, But in the overall, you got to view them as tools, not as should we be friends or not friends with them. Should they be friends or enemies? I think that's that's too reductive, and you end up kind of losing. You lose leverage there. And think about it too. Like we're playing a game where everyone's cheating. Like this is the political game. Everyone's cheating and everyone's lying, and we're sitting and to sit there and think like who should be our friend, and not to mock anybody by any means, but I think it's just like we're fighting for our very existence. Like we're fighting for our survival. Like we need to have a bit more tact here, a little bit more strategy here. Like yeah, that guy's might not be our friend, but like what do we have to lose by like letting him in for a second and like taking his resources for a second, and then when push comes to shove and he's not useful to us anymore, kick him out. That's the way I view these things, and I do view them from a we need to be very tactical in the sense of how we approach them as well. But Dave Smith is somebody who I think is honestly pretty solid, at least on some things. This Kevin says try not to get clipped again. That's funny. Yeah. Rhetorically defective. Will I appear on X now? Am I gonna get another trans-looking troglodyte? Well, and this is why the Groypers and are you? It's like, hey, Remnant, put on the chip, put on the helmet, and sit in the corner. Your girl is going. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it's rent free, dog. Sorry that it had to be rent free. But thank you guys for the super chats. Yeah, let's get clipped. Who else? Remnant 777. Remnant 777. And how gay of a name is that, dude? What does that even mean, dude? Yeah. He's the remnant of what was left of him. He's the remnant of what was left after his wife cheated on him with a black dude. I don't know if that's true, but would be a very likely story. Makes sense, seeing how their politics are just, I want to say the hard R. If you can't say the, like, it's this. And again, I'm obviously being hyperbolic here. And, this maybe being a bit over the top. Just like, dude. We're in the Dark Atlas arc. I'm not playing the game anymore with people. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to not be friendly or be unfriendly, because I think I want to take a little bit of advice from Nick, which is we probably should be disarming. We want to appeal to the broad masses and not come off unhinged. But man, I'm not going to put out with some of it. Marcus says still here, listening in the background while we cook in the kitchen. Atlas, she loves your voice. He says, hello. I'm like, chill out. It's fine. Here, Marcus, I'll save you. I'll save you some aura.
Which one do we have here? Forgive me. This is the baby voice? Where's the
female voice.
All right. So we'll do the female voice now. We'll do this with this one. This one should satisfy everybody. You know, everybody who always wants to make comments about me.
Just kidding. Well, tell her I appreciate it. Tell her I'm not competing here. But I can't compete with Marcus's sense of humor, though. That's for sure. And but tell her I appreciate it, man. Best voice in America, they said. Matt Kemp says the news fist is bass, and you can tell he's not happy with Artie going in Atlas. You can hear it in Fist voice. Interesting. Really? Maybe I'll reach out to Fist. Matt, do you think that's somebody who I should reach out to? It's News Fist, right? News Fist is his name. I'll put him on the collab list while I have it up here. I know that people said that they're pretty similar in their politics, but I'll put him on the collab list here. Whoa, man. Yeah, you guys like Fist? Okay. Let me put the note here. Better than Artie. Okay. Because that's kind of crazy. Isn't that crazy? It's just if they co-host and do content together all the time. But if they are like that far apart, that would be interesting though. I mean, here's the thing, like the thing is like Artie couldn't even brag about it as like any kind of W or anything either. There was no clips that was posted afterwards because he talked all that shit and then nothing. He couldn't post anything afterwards. And I would imagine part of him probably would agree that like that wasn't even a debate. Like it went off the rails immediately. It wasn't centered on anything, and it just felt the whole thing just felt bad faith. It felt like I was being interrogated. And if anything, perhaps we just need a moderator. Like bring in a moderator. Maybe we do need to gamify it. Someone, Andrew Wilson, if you can hear me, we'll do it on the Crucible tonight at 7. Like So if you agree, I'd totally be down to do a collaboration with him. Tom Foe doing a collab with everybody but me, dog. What's wrong with me, dog? What's so bad, dude? Bro, I had your back in how many debates now? We can't do a collab? Damn, dude, I'm like being like hanging out to dry. I'm still bitter that Tyler Russell like didn't respond to me. No, he said we could collab. I messaged him and then he don't respond. I'm like, okay, I see how it is. All right, dog. I get I'm not Nick. I get I'm not Tate. I'm not Sneeko. But come on, man. Come on. I'm like, they're like, that shit's too easy. It's like, dog, come on. I thought we was friends, man. I thought we were cool. No, just kidding. I don't really view anything. I don't think anything by it. Yeah. But yeah, I'll be totally down to do a collab with but no, this is the art. That's the that's Amy Dangerfield's husband's voice. I just saw that. It's funny. Richard Spencer. No, there's more I could probably set up with this, to be honest, on the change voice thing. I never use it. Maybe it is the Amy Dangerfield tweet. I mean, I need to I guess connect that. No, it's fine. The Samurai fears the copyright strike. I don't, and I want you to know immediately after I ended the stream on YouTube, this video has been blocked in multiple territories. Copyright disabled. It's not eligible for. It's like, it's just funny. It's so crazy. The way that it was just like it was immediately, the mask off, the Future song. Forgive me. Let me find let me grab the craft document here. I've got about 20 minutes before we switch over to Kick, and we continue escaping from the back rooms. But I will sling this over here. I just had literally only a couple notes put up on here of stuff to talk about, things that I wanted to talk about. So we did this one. We made sure collab with Mello is on Monday for those who might have missed it, 8 p.m. Eastern time. That is Speaker and Smelly and Hippocratic are big fans of Mello. And he's a good dude from what I've heard so far. That'll be on Monday. Sneeko is super performative, but we probably won't talk much about that. We did already talk about Remnant. We did have that from Nick about the nostalgia, but here's the one I wanted to show you on screen. If you guys did not see this one was crazy to me. So Myron had to save a white woman from a Shibun today, and that literally blew me away. Let me see if I can find that video. I'm going to pull it up. Let me swing this over here. Let me find it. Myron, this woman apparently was asked to leave, and she did not. That's a shorter version. Someone's got to have the longer version. Let me see if I can find this in my bookmarks here. Yeah, which I don't even mind, guys. It doesn't really bother me. The YouTube's been choking me out, so I've kind of really don't even I don't even mind if you send them on YouTube either. I don't know what's going on with me. But here it is. So Bradley Martin was the visitor. He was the guest on. And it's this woman right here. And they're going to ask her to leave. She like refuses to at first, but then eventually she does. Or I think it's cut up between moments of the show. And no joke, on her way walking up, leaving, she attacks this chick. It's crazy. Whoa, way too loud. And let me actually flip this here. To the Discord, we're going to grab the Brave one here, right? This one? Should hear it now. When I play it, you should hear it.
Be real. Black people don't give a fuck about people that ain't black.
What? What's your name?
Angelina.
Angelina.
With
okay.
an H. Angelina.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I really sweating the shit out of you, bro.
Whoa,
Yes.
come on.
For real. I ain't playing.
You what?
Yes. You ain't finna sit here and play with me like I'm no
Let's
little
take a break
ass
here
girl.
because I don't know. Come on. She's
You
nice.
trying to be smart and you thought you was being smart. Now you silent. With
Yeah,
your white
Bradley
ass.
is a unit, dog.
She said what was her
Stop
name?
playing with me.
All she said was her name.
You looking at me like I'm crazy, bitch. I spanked the shit out of you too.
Hey,
Listen, man, don't threaten the girls on the platform. They come here for a reason, not come.
Kevin Lemon says it was crazy, but it was Myron's crew who brought the chick on. I think that's what the guy says. One of the producers says that, like it was that he was the one who invited that chick on.
I'm meant to be threatened by a black girl, okay?
But I'm gonna smack the
Like,
shit out of
like
this
that.
bitch
No,
right here.
and then all of a
This
sudden,
bitch got-
they're like,
just
first
got
offense,
here.
got a black girl threatening me and shit, bro. It's our first experience here, man. They're all
I don't
new here.
give a
I have to respectfully ask you to
You're
leave.
gonna exit.
You gotta
to the
exit
left.
to the left.
Thank you for coming. You were great guest.
Yes, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh my god.
And that's just crazy. And he goes in, he defends her. That's just honestly just like literally insane. So who knows? It's this photo that's been going around like of Myron like protecting her like that, like basically hugging her and blocking it out and protecting her. Just crazy, man. Honestly insane. My Girl on Fresh and Fit podcast got attacked by an unhinged black for simply existing. And who knows? I haven't been watching much of Fresh and Fit at all lately. I've been watching nearly anything. This is a genuine question. Who's this content for? I have no idea. Really. No idea at all. You know, I've probably not watched much of Myron or Fresh and Fit, really anything for like a year and a half, 2 years. You know, every so often I guess I'll watch and maybe pay attention to any of the coverage for what's the word? You know, some of his like campus stuff, you know, responding to some kids. But I think Beardson's right. Like, it's just him like responding to a bunch of Hassan Piker fans. And so what use do you even really get out of that? Like, nothing much at all, really, if you're asking me. I think it's not even really worth it in the overall. And there was a few other things as well that I had paid attention to too. I have the Discord pulled up as well. Anybody else who still wants to call in, the Discord is still open for about another like 15 minutes or so before we switch over. Just wild behavior. You know, we kind of talked about the Pentagon issue, which I'll pay more attention to this as we get closer to Monday and see what's really going on with that. Maybe I'll put in a video, to be honest. Millie Reed says Myron's personal streams are so much better. I would imagine they are. All the Fed stuff, right? All of the paying attention to the political, and I think and I'm gonna be honest too. Like, I find this to be the better version between if you were to compare like this one versus the Whatever podcast. I can listen to this one a lot more than I can listen to the Whatever podcast. But both of them feel like trash. Both of them feel like absolute. It's like it's painful, dude. It's like you got to suffer. You got to like, you're getting tortured. You're like slowly kind of like having to just like trudge through it. It's a no for me, dog. Any updates on the Carmelo Anthony case? Not that I've seen so far. The last that we had covered it was that the fact that the many people were angry at the jury and the jury selection. Wurzelroot, I think actually just hit me because Hilton Head I think asked for a Wurzelroot collab, and I don't have him on the list, do I? Just added him. I don't know if I spelled that right, but I mean, I'll just type in words, and it's like it's close enough. You know what I mean? It's close enough. It's funny, but no, it's the all white jury. And, you know, they've been irritated about that, although I've not seen too much backlash on it. So this looks like they're in the beginning of what they are beginning to discuss. The only other thing I think I saw was, I think there was another Give, Send, Go or GoFundMe that was put up for Carmelo Anthony. Unsure like what it was for, or if like they wasted some money, so they need some more. I didn't know what the story was behind that. But I'm sure we'll see more of it as it's starting to really kind of start, rolling out into the streets. Rolling out to the news cycle, because that's going to be, it's going to take the news cycle back by storm when it does go, set back in court. We get some opening statements, and we get a clearer idea of like what the defense is and what they're going with as well too. It looks like they are going to go for a self-defense claim. Seems to be what they're starting for. To give you maybe a bit more insight into that, they were talking about how weak the self-defense claim was in an opinion piece I was reading, and they said something to the effect of that it's being reported or alleged that Carmelo Anthony was told 15 different times to leave. 15 different times to leave or walk away, or get out of the tent or vacate the premises. Like, I think you are going to kind of lose the self-defense argument at that point. But that was one of the elements they were looking at of like how weak the argument was coming from, or what it would be looking like. And I think I might have missed some Atlas on Atlas Crime. It's funny. Where's is the best? Yeah, I need to watch. I need to watch more of them. I've been sending him. I think I sent him a couple of times. Posted him on Kick when we were wrapping up on stream. If Carmelo goes to jail, be prepared for another summer of love. That's exactly true. And they've been saying it. That's why we watched some of those videos yesterday. I think that it's primed and ready for that kind of response. And also too, like it can't be missed just how dystopian it was that. Like when people were comparing this case, right? Many people have been comparing this Carmelo Anthony case to the Doak case that's happening in Great Britain, and I think that for good reason. But people keep looking at Great Britain and they go, see what we have to expect, see what's coming to America. It's like, it coming to America, it's already here. And I read not too long ago, there was another story that's not big news either, but there was another young guy, he's like 26-year-old white guy, not in the news anywhere. He was killed, not in the news anywhere. At all. And it was in America. So as much as we feel bad about Chud, and as much as we feel bad about the Austin Metcalf and the Carmelo situation, I want you to know there's another story that's not being put in the mainstream, and it's like another 26 or 25-year-old young white guy in America who was killed by a black guy. Were you going to see anything about it? Nope. And I can't remember what the guy's name is. I have the story bookmarked somewhere. I could revisit it again. But specifically with the Austin Metcalf and the Carmelo Anthony situation, I believe it was the police. Somebody, some authority, came in and confiscated phones from the area, from that track meet that was happening. Why? So they could delete or get the footage. Is that not dystopian? Why is law enforcement coming in and asking me, a person who is not involved or to the crime, to give me my phone so they can have the evidence off of it? It's like, yeah, I'll think about it. Right? It's like, oh, you want this evidence? You need this evidence? Sure, you can put a legal order in here, but that stuff should have been getting shared on social media the moment that it happened. But it didn't, because it all got confiscated, and that to me is more dystopian than what's happening in Great Britain. Like in Great Britain, it's like we have the footage, and it's partly it's because they recorded it themselves and we saw it, and then the body cam footage as well. So Matt Kemp says, so do they take the phones of all the people at the TPUSA thing where Charlie got assassinated? And it seems not. I would imagine, I think that they probably did collect the evidence from these people, but they didn't confiscate it before it was being posted. And part of the reason is, I would imagine, it's because of the event, the nature of the event too. Like, people are just freaking out and like, oh my gosh, like, immediately reacting to it getting posted. Some of it was being live streamed. I mean, it was a live streamed event, so some of it's just like, you can't get rid of it. And many people were live streaming it, and I think that's the majority of the source of the content, was people who were all live streaming it. But just to show you, let me just bring up where I saw this from. Confiscated phones, Austin Metcalf. And let me grab this here. I'm trying to. It might just be easier to get it from Grok. Also, forgive me. I did see that Esco Bucks, Alice, whereabouts in Ohio do you reside? I used to be in Columbus, but recently I've moved north. I am no longer in Columbus, but I'm in the Columbus area still. I'm only about like 20 minutes away from Columbus. And I'm voting in the Ohio gubernatorial election. I am for Amy Acton. Let me find this here. This is phones confiscated. Carmelo Anthony. I wanted to find the article that I read. Grok will do the work for me. Come on, Grok. Back to work, Grok. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna have to make one for. I'm gonna have to make one. Yeah, Acton's only 1 point ahead, so we have to. We're calling upon everybody in Ohio. We're calling upon everybody in Ohio. Vivek cannot be allowed to win. Full steam ahead, dude. I will not vote for an Indian. I will not vote for a proposition nation. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be the whole background of all of it. So I don't know if there's even any confirmation on it, but there is speculation that a few bystander videos exist because phones were in bags due to rain or taken by authorities and school staff. However, official reports and trial evidence include surveillance footage and some witness accounts. So, and that's part of it too. Like we need to have more of this footage. Needs to be appearing and getting showed up. It's just crazy, I guess maybe instead of record everything, just live stream everything, or otherwise it'll be deleted forever. It'll be gone, disappeared by big tech or school authorities. Who knows who even it was? But I saw many of those early reports. It looks like it's not been confirmed, so I'll leave you with that. I never want to be viewed as like being dishonest or pushing something that's not true. So take everything obviously with a grain of salt. Go Bucks says she was so bad, DeWine had to fire her. Yeah. Think about our options. Think about our options for Ohio. We have a woman that was fired by DeWine, who by all accounts is one of the biggest rhinos to ever serve in any capacity for a Republican position ever in politics. And the options for governor is an Indian who shits on America, who thinks that an American is just a piece of paper. And the idea of what America is a proposition nation, a scammer, a liar, a cheapskate, a fraud, in an Indian, versus Jewish white, that's not even true. Jewish woman who was fired by DeWine, the rhino, because she was so bad at what she did, and she was such a nut on COVID that she left a huge, terrible taste in everybody's mouth. And that's the options we have for governor. It's Indian scammer versus Jewish hag. I love it. I love everything in front of me. I love it. And, I will say, if Amy Acton gets in, it's not going to be, this is kind of my argument. And I'm glad someone else from Ohio is here. Amy Acton is going to feel no different than DeWine. Like, she might be worse on some things, but ultimately it's not going to feel like it's not going to feel much different than DeWine. DeWine is already trash. He's already garbage. Now, will this lead into maybe a bit more of a purple state kind of setup? I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think overall Ohio's a little cooked. I think Ohio's going to have some tumultuous period. It's going to undergo, and they're going to start targeting it too, as like a swing state as well. Vote acted for more sleepovers. We love it. And well, my phone died, and where are we at? We're like 3:30 or so. And we got a good crowd here. Is there anything you guys want me to cover in the last couple of 5 minutes? Any questions you guys have for me? We've got about 5 minutes of serious before I switch over to Kick. And I'll probably get the Kick stream started around 4 o'clock or so. And I'll probably play Escape the Back Rooms until around 7:30. That'll be me and Capo will be playing over there. And then we have the Groper Report at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock to 10. That'll be me and Josh. And then I'll basically be giving you guys another whole day of content here on Saturday. But yeah, I'll be waiting. Thoughts on book recommendations? Thoughts on Jews? Josh, what's up, man? Just cover these hands. Yeah. I don't know. Who would win in a fight, guys? Me or Josh? I know who I'm taking. Thoughts on Jews, man. Really, really nice people. They find their way in everything. It's unique. It's a feat. You go, dang, how did I have all this good stuff? And you just kind of, that's what you notice that about them. They're just somehow kind of everywhere. In all of the important positions. It's a pretty cool feature about them, isn't it? It's like a perk, right? It's a bonus. Donnie says you look, to Josh, he says, you look like kids still bully you for your lunch money. Very true, but we're working on it. We're working on it. Okay, like Josh is going to the school. We're at the School of Atlas. We're at the School of Thugged, and we are learning how to, shave our faces and look smacks. You could buy my hammer for $9.99. And use it to chisel your jaw, build some microfractures in your cheekbones, and drink milk. And you too can get women to leap and jump over fire and pits of snakes for you. That is the purpose. Michael Crawford, let's cover the Balfour Declaration real quick. Oh, yes. Okay. So Arthur Balfour was... And so you see in Palestine, and it was a promise of a land, but no, really, so many people, I will say one of the more forgotten elements of how the Balfour Declaration even occurred was because of the weakening strength and because of the breaking up of the weakening strength really of it was the British Empire, forgive me, Lord have mercy. And the weakening hold of their kind of empire around the world. And the Balfour Declaration kind of took advantage of what was basically like disputed territory, or whose territory is this? And that's kind of where you get the advantage being taken through the Balfour Declaration. But yeah, a lot there. I know that somebody asked a while ago to do like a full coverage of debate stream, since like the Chuck Mason was so disappointing. But we could. I mean, we definitely could. I have all of my old debate notes in there as well. We could go from the Apollo affair. We could talk about Zalman Shapiro. We could talk about the terrorist groups. We could talk about the nuclear triggers. We could talk about Hoover being blackmailed in the FBI. Like we could do all of it. Like I know that front to back, all over, front to back. Do I think Zionism is bad? Isn't it crazy how we literally hit the 2-hour mark every single time and the power chat stops working? It is literally crazy how it is just like, it is like timed. My gosh. Toy Groper says, we have a MAGA. Where's Toy Groper at? Where's that chat at? We have a MAGA retard in here somewhere that's trusting the play and not going to say any names, though. That's funny. Kevin says, Chud Maxing and stream. That's funny. Matt Camp, Alex, have you seen Harrison Smith, The Protocols of the Elders of Zion? It's scary factual. I have not. Was that published in collaboration with Right Response Ministries? I don't know if I have seen it or not. I might have actually, or at least maybe I let me write that down in my handy dandy ripped up envelope. But yeah, Harrison Smith, Protocols, Elders of Zion. And W to Harrison Smith for getting hooked up with NXR. Is it with, oh, NXR, right? New Christian, right? Forgive me. I'll go check that out. Man, Harrison Smith, I think Harrison Smith is another one of these guys that's excellent. Do I think I align on him with 100% with all of my opinions and feels? But I think he's great. I think he's excellent. Stonehead says brains and voice. Josh is cooked. I'm sorry, Josh. I definitely was staying on the voice for sure. Brains comes and goes sometimes. It depends on the day. Craig says just a heads up. I need like 15 minutes before we play. That's totally fine, man. I'll probably end around like here just in a second. We'll get through a couple more of these chats ultimately, and that's fine. Take as much time as you need, man. We're chill on kick. Name names, he says. Unger House says reject DEI anchor babies in the GOP. I agree. Merely Reed says I probably missed your opinion on it, but how did you feel about Chud going around testing free speech? So I ultimately agreed with Nick in the overall on Chud. I mean, like, I support Chud's self-defense claim, and everything that I've seen so far is that, like, he should be winning the case. Like, if the story is that this Joshua Fox guy cleared like 50 feet or like 25, meters, or he traveled like 30 yards to hit Chud from behind, definitely separating from their initial engagement, then it's like, it's by far and away, like, wholeheartedly, I support Chud completely. The only thing is I personally don't like the provocative element of it. I don't like the Johnny Somali style, like, IRL streaming stuff. Like that's to me where it's just not for me. And I think it does put him in a rough spot. And I think when you know how the systems are, you know how the courts are, you have like a greater than like 80% chance you're going to be put in front of a liberal Jewish judge. And you have that. It's like, yes, the Constitution, but also we should know, like, that they don't care about what your rights are, and they are your enemy. And they're going to use anything they can to their advantage to try to paint you as an evil racist who deserves to, like, have all your existence snuffed out. So I think Chud does get a bit more of a worse rap than what's deserved as well. I will say that too. I think ultimately he seems like a decent guy. I think that we would probably get along. I could probably have a conversation with him and agree with him on a lot of things. But there have been videos that have rubbed me the wrong way, and one of them particularly wasn't even a black guy involved. It was it was like a white bouncer, or he was like standing in front of like some kind of building, and he asked Chud multiple times, like, to like get away from him. And the way I kind of view that too is, it's like, yeah, like, I don't agree with all of my family members all at the same time, but if it's my grandfather or like somebody who's like my in-laws and they're getting harassed by some dude, it's like, well, I'm sorry, like, they asked you to leave twice, and you're standing like in their face, putting a camera on them. It's like, that to me is like, okay, I think that is a bit of harassment. Would I sit there and call 911 about it? No, I would ask again, like, please leave. But to me, it's like, there's some stuff like that, and it's not all of them by any means, and some of this is well deserved from some of these people. But it's definitely not my cup of tea. It's just not. Because and I think Johnny Somali is a good but also poor comparison for different reasons. Good in the sense of, I think most people view it as that. They view him as being like putting himself intentionally in places that are going to get reactions. Because again, that's the whole point of the stream. No one's watching the stream to just see Chud walk down the sidewalk alone. They're watching to see him, get an interaction or see where the interaction goes. But at the same time, Chud is also not like slamming the door on people. He's not like dumping ramen out onto the kitchen floor. He's not doing that. So I have nuance on there. It is complex, but I think ultimately going at this rate, we will either probably get him killed, or he is going to end up in a situation where it's not going to be as easy to defend his self-defense claim. And what happens, and it's not like, and we know what the right thing is to do, but it's also in the most practical sense, we know how the judges are. We know how the system is bent. And we, as many times as we've been right, like Daniel Penny was wholeheartedly in the right, by far, 110%. And you saw how hard it was for him to win his case. Everybody was worried that he wouldn't win his case. It's like, you really want to risk your life with that? And I think he's got children too. I'm pretty sure Chud has a son or a daughter, and I don't really want to speak on that. But I think, again, if you are a father, like, I think about that all the time. Like, I'm not going to put myself in situations that would ultimately pull me away from my children. My daughter needs me. So that's ultimately how I view those things. And I think if you are someone who's going to be doing stuff like that, then you do need to take the advice from Paul. You need to have no connections. You need to not have other family members who depend on you. Especially if it's going to be explicitly going and doing things that will bring about a risk of, you going to jail, right? Of like you being taken away from your family for a long time, or even worse than that, you getting shot and killed. I think if somebody's like, if you don't have children, you don't have strong connections, sure, you still have responsibilities, and duties to your family, but I think less so of people who are dependent upon you. But I'm rooting for Chud to win his case. I think he deserves to win his case. And he does serve as a strong example of obviously what this dichotomy is. You know what I mean? This everybody could say this word. It's in every rap song, but a white woman sings it under her breath in the middle of, like, on the bus while she's listening to her headphones, and they use that as a reason to kill her. Like, obviously, I don't think that's cool at all. I don't even think it's cool. I think that shit's evil, and it's disgusting, and it's an injustice. And Black people need to be able to listen to and have words said around them without, like, having these kind of snap offs and going and choking or stabbing people. But at the same time, it's just I just don't I don't view it to be the most productive use of energy or time. But again, I will say, everybody's got their own different strokes for different folks. I think everybody's got a role to serve, a role to play. Not everybody's going to be playing the same role either. Not everybody can be a general. Not everybody can be the specialist. Not everybody can be the scout. Not everybody can be the medic. Not everybody can be the engineer. Not everybody can be the mechanic. Not everybody can be the. So, it all helps on some levels. But again, this is also turned. It's one of these other elements again. It's now turned, which is like, and to me, it's very effeminate, where it becomes like this whole, oh, I agree with you on this and this and this. It's like, oh, what? Like, you're not fully supporting Chud. Like, you don't want to jump out in the street and start screaming the hard R, random blacks to get reactions. It's like, I don't. Like, I literally don't. I don't even view it as like a polite thing to do. And that's just, that's just for, that's just for me. Like, I don't. You just heard Marcus in here, right? Like, I come from I went to college, I went to university. Like, I don't have like liberal priors, but I'm friends with a lot of people who aren't white. I have been around a lot of communities, a lot of people who aren't white, and not just for a couple of years, like for pretty much the majority of my life. So I'm a lot more privy to a little bit more of the complexity here. And, when I talk to Marcus and many people like that as well too, like, there's many Black people who are just as much of Nazis as you and I are. Like, it's just because you aren't around them and don't have the conversations just doesn't mean they don't exist. And obviously the exceptions don't make the rule, and it's just because of their existence doesn't mean all of a sudden we just tolerate living in this two-tier society. I don't think that at all. But again, I think things are just, a lot of this is way more complex. Life is complex. And it's way more complex than what it gets reduced to on a lot of these, X posts as well. But I think it's probably a good place. And I appreciate the question as well. Thank you, Millie Reed. And I'm glad to see you around a lot more too. I feel like I've noticed you a lot more in the last couple of days as well too. He says, just shining more light to the two-tier system we have. And I agree. I mean, it's not to say that there's no positives at all in it. Right. I think there are positives. And I think for many people, Chud has been what they looked at and they saw, wait, whoa, this is crazy. Look at how they're reacting. But I see it rather quickly also devolving into like Paul Miller. And it's not to say like, I'm sure Paul Miller's had some great things to say. I've seen him put some positive messages to some young men. I think that's great. But I think overall, it kind of devolves, and I think the way it looks in optics, when we're trying to run a serious political movement, having Paul Miller being attached to a serious political movement it serves more to harm the movement overall. It does more to serve as a stumbling block or like in a barrier than it does to be a positive in the overall. It doesn't mean I don't agree with Paul Miller. It doesn't mean I don't think he's funny. I wouldn't have a conversation with him. But when we're trying to have a serious political group, a serious political action happening, you have to take into account all of what goes into the political ecosystem. And I'm sorry, Mark. I wholeheartedly disagree. Mark saying that no, it's not complex. We need white babies, but it's hard because our women don't fear being literally honor killed for being what would that be? Where's the tweet from Mark Vinny? Being honor killed for being sluts and single moms, period. I think the average woman doesn't even care. I think the average woman doesn't even know what's going on. They're not. I don't think that I would never even assign that level of thinking to women either. Like they're just here. They just exist. They're not. Then that's part of the problem too. Is like until men recognize that we have to take dominion over them, and remove them from their autonomy and get things back into a more restrictive kind of setting, repeal the whole 19th century, as House says. Ultimately, like, it really doesn't matter. But again, it's like I like a lot of these guys. I like all of them, really, for the most part. I think they all serve different purposes. But there does, to me, I think there is a serious. You have to have a hard line with political action. And again, it's the same thing with Dan Bilzerian, right? Like with the Dan Bilzerian, the guy is running in a district that is literally like the average age of the district is well beyond. What's up, Zeb? The average age in the district is like 57 years old. The median age in his district is 48 or like 38, 39, something like that. 20th century, forgive me, House. And beyond that, the other demographics are like, they're all evangelical boomers. It's like super huge. It's like the number one demographic it's like 48% evangelical, dispensationalist, Israel loving, pro-Jew boomers. Number two, next biggest demographic, secular Jews, like 25% secular Jews. What's Dan's like number one slogan? Let's go kill people in Israel. It's like it's just, that is just nonsensical, right? And that's obviously contextualized inside of that. But politics is a game, and there's a way that you play it. There's a correct way to play it, and there's a wrong way to play it. You can cheat too, to the people who have the ability to cheat. You can lie and steal, but it is played, and it is played a certain way. And to act as if there needs to be no serious nature to it, I find that to be, again, it's laughable. Especially for anybody who seriously does want to appeal the 19th, anybody who seriously does want to, put forward any kind of actual strong legislation, anybody who does seriously want to see a more Christian nation. How are you going to get there? How are you going to get there, right? And it's all in the sense and semblance of being like ingrained in what it actually requires to get there, right? The wins, how people perceive it, what's required, how culture moves. And everybody wants a quick victory. They want a quick W. I think many people just in their heads, they view it as like, everyone just agrees with me. They're just too afraid to say so. I find that I don't think so at all. I think if anything, the majority of people, they don't even know what to think because they don't even know what's going on because they can't be bothered and they don't care. Oh, you want to talk about politics? It's like, why? They're like, why? Can't be bothered to at all. They'd rather pay attention to like, keeping up with like Love Island and all that other BS as well. What? I don't even know what you're going off on, Marcus. He says they're mindless retards who choose to be sluts with a sliver of sentience, though they don't have any sentience. We should and shouldn't subjugate them. no, they never said we shouldn't subjugate them. We wholeheartedly like should. I feel like you're misunderstanding the point. Like as long as they are able to vote, we're going to have to deal with the concept and the fact that they're able to vote. And as long as women are able to vote, they're going to feel like they are a part of the political ecosystem, and they are going to be able to divest their own interests without being attached to a man or anything else like that. That's just reality. The same way that even if we're not looking at women, boomers don't agree with anything. Boomers are literally retarded and they hate Zoomers. We just watched a boomer the other day try to choke out a Zoomer for going out in water or something. And it's like, they vote too. And again, I don't want to, I'm very tired of all the LARPing, and I don't like it anymore, you know. And it's like, I feel like I've done enough. We've talked about the LARPing enough. You know, cathartic as it may be, like, we can either be serious or we can just pretend, and it's up to every person to decide how they want to move about it. So with that, though, we went a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and get ready, switch things over to Kick as well. If anybody wants to follow us over there, we'll be doing the Kick stream for Escaping the Backrooms. Nice to see you, Zeb, although you came in at the very came in at the very, very end. He said, did we fall down with the case of Wignet? Funny. But we'll be switching over to Kick. We'll be doing that here in about 15 to 25 minutes or so. Give me a chance to get ready to switch things over and make sure that it'll all be good and set up. And those who want to join us, kick.com/AtlasThugged. And I will see you guys probably on YouTube tomorrow at some point, I would imagine. I think we should. I'll see you guys at some point tomorrow. We'll do another community stream. Perhaps maybe we'll do reaction day. So anything you want to see me talk about or cover, or you find interesting, send it in the submissions as well in the Discord if you would like to see it on stream. And again, I feel like I'm pretty charitable about all these takes. Even if you disagree with me, I have no problem in engaging with the disagreement. Just do not be like rhetorically defective is all I'm asking. So with that, we'll see you guys on Kick in like 20-30 minutes or so. But again, I will notify everybody in the Discord when I do go live on Kick as well. Appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you for all the super chatters as well. Huge W's to all of that. Thank you greatly. And one last thing, like Zeb says, as long as women have the ability to vote, they will have the ability to vote. Great. I will see you guys here in, again, 25 minutes or so. Appreciate it. Christ is King, as always, and see you very shortly.
Get up and get out. Get out. Get out.
I have a question for you.
Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord. Say it. You say Christ is Lord. Get out. Get out. Christ